Terry's faithfulness, the thing about that really jumps out at me is that he has had literally, coming up this May when he turns 92, an 80-year career in ministry. When he was 7 years old, sitting at his kitchen table with his mother at their house in Glendale, Arizona, which was just a sleepy little town at that point, his mother led him to faith in that conversation. At 7 years of age, this was 1941, the year that World War II started. 5 years later, he was a youth group leader at his Baptist church there in Glendale at the age of 12. And that ministry career is still going today. Now, his faithfulness in ministry is just quite honestly almost unsurpassed. How many people can say they've been ministering for 80 years?
His leadership style is one that he's not pushy, he's not demanding, but he's winsome, he's persuasive, and he knows how to say a lot with a few words. He can say just the right 2 or 3 sentences to guide people in the right direction and give them an internal desire to go in the direction that he thinks is wise to go. And I think that's a very critical part of his style. And secondly, his commitment to prayer. I think I knew that about him back in the day, but in this last 2 or 3 years working with Anágo Partners, Terry's commitment to prayer and his eagerness to pray about all things really stands out to me.
What Terry believed in most fundamentally was just the gospel transforms individuals, communities, cities, the world. And he's lived his whole entire ministry life. He's lived that out, starting things, coming alongside things that were in trouble and reinvigorating those. And it ultimately wasn't about although he's extraordinarily skilled, it wasn't about his skill set. And he certainly didn't lean on that most fundamentally. He leaned on the Spirit of God through the power of the gospel.
One of the great signature mobilizations of Terry Gyger's Men in Action is something that perhaps many people don't know about. And it has to do with something that happened over 30 years ago when, Terry, you called together about 15 friends to gather together annually. And we would meet under your encouragement to get to know one another, to get to love one another, to get to think deeply and strategically. And you assembled visionary leaders and strategic leaders and tactical leaders to brainstorm and share from their hearts, to pray together, but to share what it will mean that the church would flourish and grow. And we cross-pollinated with each other. We learned so much from each other. Tim Keller, Skip Ryan, Brian Chappell, Shelton Sanford, Sandy Wilson, Al LaCour, Harry Reeder, Bill Edgar, Dan Doriani, John Hutchinson, Dick Kaufman, Jim Hatch, John Wood, Ray Cortese, and of course, Randy Pope. All of us would say that our lives are inestimably richer and more focused with the Lord's kingdom agenda because you wanted to see men mobilized and men in action for Jesus.
My favorite memory of Terry is his great love and vision for the kingdom. He always gave his best to the ministry. Terry deeply believed that anyone could be used in the ministry. He always gave opportunity to everyone. He used to give freedom to a person and let him use his own style and gift. My family and I learned to love Dorothy and Terry very, very much. He did it tremendously impacted my life. I'm so appreciative for what you did, investing in my life and also in so many leaders in Brazil. I wouldn't have done what I did if it was not you, Terry, walking along with me in the church planting ministry.
And my wife, Rim, and I have known Terry since he and Dorothy moved to New York City. I think it was in the late 1990s. Terry came with great excitement to launch the Redeemer Church Planning Center, which was later renamed City to City. And Tim was equally excited that Terry was willing to take on the role of executive pastor as well. At the time, I was serving as an elder at Redeemer, still am, and was soon asked to join the board of the Church Planning Center. So I worked closely with Terry as he faithfully carried out two just enormous responsibilities, either one of which would have been a full-time job on its own. But he did both with wisdom, with grace, and with just amazingly steady leadership.
Terry modeled out something very important, and that was Terry Gyger always led to leave a legacy and not just to build his personal ministry. Today, ministers can be easily tempted into building media platforms or social platforms or personal followings. But Terry's leadership style is to quietly recruit, convene, mentor, and build younger leaders for the future church. Terry's passion continues to be building, multiplying, and renewing church leaders. Even after Terry had officially retired from both M&A, Redeemer City to City, he was propelled by this passion to found Anágo Partners.
I've often described Terry as one of the most influential people that a lot of people have never heard of. And so he was a key leader for our denomination when church planting went to a whole nother level of effectiveness and efficiency and fruitfulness. Then Terry was one of the key leaders when Perimeter was one of the very first to go to a multi-site model. And to make that work, people knew the name of Tim Keller or Randy Pope or other people. They may not have known Terry's name, but Terry was really the guy shaping things and leading things, and so critical.
The thing that Terry did quietly that most people never saw, and he's still doing, is that his ministry motor never stops. He is always thinking, always trying to find better methods, whatever it may be, for the church to be effective in its ministry, whether that's at the pastoral level or organizational level or whatever. He is always thinking.
Terry, it's hard to believe I've known you since about 1971, 55 years. Way back in those early days, here's what you kept trying to drill into my thick skull. Jim, never ask anyone to do anything unless you're willing to train them to do it. I have in my office a memento of our travels across the South many years ago, a Waffle House mug. When we'd eat at Waffle House, you kept asking me, Jim, how do we better reach the Waffle House crowd? Your heart for every kind of person left a mark on me, Terry. Grateful to the Lord that because of you, I'm a better churchman, a better leader, a better person. Thank you.
Unfortunately, we'll be out of the country on March 21st and won't be able to be there in person for this wonderful celebration. But please know that we send our love and deep gratitude to Grandpa Terry, and we rejoice in his life, his faith, and his legacy being honored tonight.
Terry, my dear friend, we will never forget you. Thanks so much for being who you are. Blessing, we love you, and God cares for you.
Brother, thank you, because I am grateful for how you have invested in my life and ministry for just short of 5 full decades. I love you.
Terry, you have not only been a ministry colleague, a mentor, and a friend, you have been like a father to me in the years that we have known each other. My own father died almost 30 years ago. You are an absolute treasure.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you for your life. Thank you for your example. Thank you most of all for your love for the Lord Jesus that has been exemplified through your life and work.
Terry, you have shepherded many of us with the heart of Christ. You've certainly done that for me, and I'm so grateful. I love you, Terry.